Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Willard to join us up front.
Good afternoon. My name is Will Taylor, and I'm third in line, the third son, Bob, or Leonard, and Bob's younger brother. And I came along about 8 years later, so it's like two families, and my sister Dorothy was another year and a half, 2 years behind myself. So even though we were kind of a split family, you might say, we're always very, very close and always kept in contact and kind of knew what was going on. I could always hear Gloria's voice. I would call over here at the winery, either wanting to know some information or just kind of keeping up with what was going on. And I would always say hello, and she said, "Oh, Willard, how are you? How are your family? How are things going?" She always was wanting to know what was going on with the kids, with the grandkids. So it was always fun talking with Gloria. I can always remember our talks together when we were out here at the winery with Bob and Gloria. It could be anything from politics to drawing. My wife Kate and I liked to draw. We're weavers and spinners, and she got interested in fiber arts. And I remember one of the last times we were out here, we were looking at some things she had collected, and she said, "Oh, Will, I know you and Kate will love these things because they're made in Pennsylvania or woven." And we just had all kinds of good talks about everything, like I said, from politics to art to how the vineyard was going. Again, I'll never forget all the great times we had in the mountains, in the cabin, whether it was snowing outside or whether it was walking around the lake. They were just great times that we will never forget. She will be missed. Introduce my wife. This is my wife, Kate.
Gloria, my sister-in-law. She was a classy lady. She set a high standard in everything she did. And although she's not here now, she'll be with us always in our memories and in our hearts.
I would like to introduce my oldest daughter. This is Susan. Susan, I don't know whether I can say wisely or unwisely, chose my profession as a teacher. I warned her against it, but she did listen. But I'm proud that she followed my footsteps. I hope that she can last 37 years, but who knows. My next daughter is Carolyn, and her husband,
running around with our 3-year-old.
Alan, and I don't know, and so I guess they're running around with Amelia. And then my son, John, and his wife, Wendy, and their 2 children, unfortunately, could not be here today, Andrew and Natalie.
I just always had great memories coming out here. Seeing the transformation of this place is just unbelievable. I mean, Bob and Gloria just did such a great job with this, and hanging out with my older cousins Noah and Aaron. Coming out here in the summer times, help tending vines, and always remember, I don't know if you remember this, Bob, bringing out my metal detector, trying to find treasure in the yard, only come to find big piles of garbage that had been dumped in the ground. But we had just a great time enjoying it. She introduced me to building model airplanes. I never thought an aunt would, teach me about building RC gliders. Always just enjoyed coming out here. I'd come out, work in the lab, and could always stop by any time, seeing Bob and Gloria, and they'd always invite me in for lunch and just talk and see what was going on with the family. She'll be missed.
I was just going to say real quick, my husband and I were married 4 years ago, and she had called me up when she heard we were getting married, and I just got to tell her all about some of our plans, and I remember her just saying to me, "Wow, you are so neat." And it stuck with me, and I just think, wow, she just had this ability to make me feel so special, and I think that's just tells the kind of person she is, just really wonderful. So I was very fortunate to have her for an aunt.
I'm just so thankful to be a part of this family, despite age and distance. It's always amazing when we come together in a family, whether it's in a happy setting or in a sad setting like today, that it's like we've never left each other. We're always together in heart and spirit, and the love still keeps growing. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Dorothy to come and join us to share some words.
I'm Dorothy Steinert, and this is my husband, Ron. I'm the little sister, and not as brave as a lot of my relatives here, but Bob, I have a letter planned for you that I'm working on.